Before we get to this video, yet again, I'm going to talk to you about FUTTRADING.co.uk. I know a lot of you get annoyed by it, but it is what allows me to do this job full time. So thank you to everyone that has subscribed so far this year. The feedback has been phenomenal. But FUTTRADING.co.uk is a website that was launched by myself and Dan, aka V273, over on Twitch, whereby you guys learn how to trade and get given buying and selling prices for so many cards. We're talking thousands of cards on the market. And just gone live right now is our League SBC investment guide where you guys can make hundreds of thousands of coins from. And icons are now live on the site, buying and selling prices for pretty much every single icon on this game. It's £10 a month for tier 1, which gets you access to all the buying prices and selling prices. And £15 a month for tier 2, which gets you access to our amazing live filters tool, which helps you guys make thousands of coins immediately with some of the best sniping filters on this game. You also get access to this CHEM style calculator, tells you what to sell your cards for, and a trade storage area which we have built ourselves for you guys to use so you can keep a track of how much coins you are making every single day on this game. Make sure you check out FUTTRADING.co.uk, but for now, let's get into the video. Yo, what is up guys? Welcome back to a new video with me, Fuzzball40. As always, if you're new around here, please do consider subscribing down below, clicking the like button, all that good stuff. Make sure you turn on your notifications so you never miss an upload. Check me out on Twitch. I am live streaming right now. If you want to come over to Twitch, do any of the stuff that I'm showing you in this video right now, and anything that happens post 6 PM, make sure you check me out over on Twitch. And check out FUTTRADING.co.uk for all your trading needs. Another point, if any of you have subscribed to the website, I know a lot of you guys come from YouTube, subscribe to the website. Make sure you join that Discord. There's over 1,300 people now, I think, in there to help you guys learn to trade and use the website. Me, myself, Dan, and our whole team of mods. We've got a whole team of mods that work on our website. They will help you guys to make the most of your money, but you might get the most for your money, essentially. So make sure you do that. Also, from me, a massive thank you for the ridiculous amount of support I've had on my videos recently. Most of them hitting to 2,000, 3,000 views. Some of them up as high as 10,000 views. It does mean the world to me. It allows me to continue to do this full time. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. But this video is all about Road to the Final. I'm going to be honest with you. Road to the Final is coming on Friday. And it's one of those promos that I don't really care about each year. It has this massive hype in the community. And I always think it's a bit meh. I'm not going to lie to you. I just feel like it's a bit meh. I don't think it's anything special. I never have done. I never will do, I don't think. It's just live cards. It reminds me of another version of Ones to Watch, except very specific to the Champions League. But what EA do as part of this promo is they do like pump up some of the best players on this game. And I think that's where the hype comes from. You tend to see Kante every year. Son will probably get a card. You tend to see all these amazing cards that we get on this game, all souped up early doors. And obviously if they get through, especially with those teams that have already won 2 or 3 games in their group, it can really sort of spiral and the cards can get very good very quickly. So yeah, Road to the Final is coming. It is a promo. It's a promo we get at this time every single year. It's now on the game in terms of the loading screen. But what I'm going to do in this video is tell you how you can prep for it in terms of making coins and what to look out for when it comes out. So I will be right back when I start looking at some FUTBin graphs to give you an idea of what to do. I will be right back. Alright guys, so it wouldn't be one of my videos if we weren't on FUTBin, but here we are again. The reason why I show you guys FUTBin, a couple of people asked me in the comment section about why I always bring up the graphs and whatnot, is to teach you guys how to do the same thing. FIFA is quite habitual in terms of the fact that what tends to happen each year tends to be replicated relatively similarly each year with FIFA. EA aren't that good at coming up with new ideas and fresh ideas. The difference this year is the market is a bit more up and down, although it seems to be steadying out a little bit now. But it's quite habitual, FIFA, and you can usually look at last year's sort of promos and last year's trends to sort of predict what happens this year. Isn't exact science, no, but it's better than going into it blind or assuming you know better. For me, I like to do my research, especially if I'm putting something into a video for you guys. I prefer to make sure that I'm giving you guys as much knowledge as I possibly can. But these are last year's Road to the Final players, the UCL live cards. Basically, if you don't already know, the UCL live cards are cards that every time you get to a certain stage in the Champions League, they get pumped up and souped up. Again, apologies, dogs decide to bark for the moment I record. But they get pumped up basically as and when you get to a certain stage. If you get to the next round, they go up and they go up and they go up, and it ends up being, for example, Leon Goretzka here is 95 or whatever, and Kante for 94, whatever happens. That's how it goes basically. But the thing that I've always thought about, the reason why I've always found this promo a bit meh, is a lot of the cards don't see their ridiculous boosts till really late in the game, and by that point we were towards TOTW'S, and we've got ridiculous promos out anyway, so you get a FUT birthday card that's as good as most of these cards are ever going to get, and that's why I've always found this promo a bit meh. But what I have found with this promo over time is it's very easy to make coins on. So the first thing I'm going to do is look at some players, give you an idea of the cards they had. I'm going to show you the price graphs of them when the players' gold cards are out of pack. So First one we look at is Neres last year. A very meh card. It was okay, nothing special. All right for that stage of the game. It wasn't terrible, don't get me wrong. But Neres had an 84 card and his other card was an 81. Now, if you look at his 81 card, the moment that he goes out of packs, it just spiked up. The reason for that as well is not because people are desperately getting this Neres, but being a Brazilian left winger means he's usable in a lot of SBCs. We're going to talk about SBCs in a minute on the game and talk to you about how UCL SBCs tend to work as well. But he was a relatively good shout, and a lot of people didn't invest in him. I did last year. I bought into quite a few of him once I realised that he was getting a card. By the way, look out for leaks. I don't really like leaks, but if you're going to trade, you need to have them realistically. I bought into him, and now if you're buying in at 1,000 and below, then realistically, in my opinion, if you're getting up to sort of 3,400 coins on a card, making literally after tax 3 times your coins back, that's a hell of an investment. That's a sensational investment. It doesn't always ring true, but these are sort of ones I always look towards. Wingers, major leagues, decent rating, they're always good to go for. Next card is Eder Militao. Last year was super OP. People loved him. This was his live card by the end of last year. And if you look at his graph as well, because of his pace, because of the fact that he's Real Madrid, Brazilian, he's always a meta card, same as this year. He started with like 3,450, got as high as 7,000 coins by the time that he was out of packs for that whole time. Again, you're looking at basically double your investment back on him before tax. That was what happened to him last year. Next cards, we looked at Son. So now look at Son. I did look at this one earlier on. So that's his live card by the time we got it. And this was his graph during that period. UCL live, let's find one. That's it, fine. I was sitting there going, is that right? It is right. So Son. This was his graph for that period. And he didn't really go up very high. So I would caution you with the higher tier guys. For me, they're way too much risk. I do feel like this year's might be a bit different. We're seeing when high tier cards are sought after go out of packs, they are rising quite steadily. I think Rashford, he really climbed up. I know he linked to Kane, but he still saw a very big rise. Werner did the same. But I would look at those sort of cards with a bit of trepidation, and I'd stick to the low end of the market myself personally. Next one, Lloris. French goalkeeper, Premier League, good fodder normally. That was his card there. And if we look at his graph, again, sort of set that at 20,000 coins, got up as high as 24,000 coins. Is that rise significant? Not really. It's still a decent amount of profit. It's still 3,000 coins per card. The problem that I've got with someone like a Lloris or a goalkeeper is you can usually replace them relatively easily in your team or in an SBC with another goalkeeper. We've got Alan. So this is Alan's card from last year. He was voted for final 1. If we look at his graph, again, steady rise from 24k. Remember, these are average prices. It does not mean that that was what they sell for. He sort of dropped off in the weekend league sell-off before climbing up as high as 27,000 by the next weekend league. So again, if you're looking at 22, you're looking at nearly 5k profit a card before tax, which ain't bad. But again, these are average prices. You'll be able to pick up cards like this for cheaper than they're listed there for. My advice is if you're going to invest and you see any leaks, the best time to do that is probably with rewards tomorrow on Thursday. I'd say that's probably when the market's going to be at its lowest. That initial drop-off is going to be the best place to do it. And when you're buying cards that you think are good investments, if you see them as leaks, 2 things to be mindful of. The first is try and buy them with hunters or shadows on them, whichever one is relevant to that player. So if it's an attacker, hunter, defender, shadow, even anchors and engines can do quite well. You want to have something on them that sets you aside from everyone else. Second thing is a lot of people tend to sell these cards as soon as they come out of packs and they rush sell them. And the problem with doing that is it brings the market down. You may have to wait for the cards to come back up again. But when you're happy with the profit, sell it. Do not get greedy. Who else we got? We've got one more, I think, to show you. And that was Dembele from last year. So this is his card as a standard. When he went out of packs, this is what he did. From 20,000 all the way up to 27,000 coins. And really, Dembele is the meta of the meta. 5-star, 5-star. People loved him last year. Again, this year there's hype about him. So as soon as he went out of packs, he bumped up in price. And yeah, climbed to 27,000 coins by next weekend league. So you can see that out of pack investments usually do quite well. I would caution you that a lot of people are going to have this idea, so there's always risk attached to it, but it's something to think about. But where else can we make coins on this game with this promo? And the way that I think a very smart play could be right now, within the next sort of 24 hours, is in UCL blue cards. Now, those of you who know about the UCL marquee matchups, number 1, EA messed it up basically, and it meant that you need to get common UCL cards into the marquee matchups, and it meant that they were all 11,000 coins. You had to snipe them to do the SBC. EA have a habit of doing that, but they also have a habit during this promo of asking for the UCL cards as part of the daily SBCs, and so they'll probably bring out an SBC that allows you to get UCL cards as part of them. So whether it is, I don't know, 5 golds and 4 silvers, whatever it is, and 2 bronze to get 2 UCL cards. They usually bring them out, but they usually come after 1 or 2 of those SBCs come out. The problem that I have with the UCLs generically on this game is they serve very little purpose. It's very lazy content from EA. It was better when they were the +1s, in my opinion. That was a better situation than what they are now. But obviously, I think EA keep that +1 free now for the Team of the Year nominees. But if we take the likes of Liverpool, now this is one example. There's obviously a lot of Champions League teams out there. A lot of the cards that are UCL cards are the same price as their gold cards. So if you look at like Keita, for example, Milner, like no difference in price at all. Oxlade-Chamberlain, no real difference in price, like 100 coins. Origi, the same. Minamino, pretty much. In fact, Minamino's blue card somehow cheaper. And even the commons, like Adrian and whatnot, it's the same price here as he is for his gold card. I would honestly be thinking right now, when rewards drop tomorrow and join Div Rivals, I would be thinking, hang on, maybe I pick up some of these. Maybe I go in, even if you went and got 1 from every team, right? I know it's grind, I know it's hard work. You go and get 1 from every team. If an SBC comes out and the commons and the rares are selling for 5 to 10k, because it's happened before plenty of times, you could make a huge amount of coins from that. Now, if you're buying at discard price when they're coming out during Division Rivals, what does it matter? There's no risk. The risk you're going to lose is tax. And at some point, those UCL cards are going to be needed during this promo. You're going to make coins out of them. But the biggest risk, if you're buying at discard price, is the tax that you lose from EA tax, the 5%. It's not that big a risk. That's where I'd be looking for a lot of my coins right now, because I'm thinking, hang on, we know they need UCL cards. We know every single time that EA bring out a UCL requirement, they mess it up. All you need is one mess up from EA and you're quadrupling, tripling, quadrupling, even more than that, your coins from very simplistic investments. I would spread them out amongst the rares and the commons. Sometimes they ask for commons, sometimes they ask for rares. I'd be spreading my coins out amongst those. But buying as close to discard price means you have very little risk on this. And if you can, even better, try and buy with chem styles on them, like Hunters, Shadows, Anchors, because they're sellable later on. They'll always go eventually, even if you've got to list them a few times. If they don't rise in price, you'll make value back from that. So they're the 2 places that I think the majority of the coins are there to be made. Other things that will happen during this. Now, if you look here, last year we had UCL Live SBCs. So you've got Valverde there, you've got Alejandro Gomez, the one that everyone said was a terrible idea, but ended up being a great card in the end. Jusagana Gay, who else do we get? Ibrahima Konate, another one everyone said was terrible, but ended up being a brilliant card. Willian, Joe Gomez. You've got all these SBCs. Now, EA have a habit of dropping 1 or 2 ridiculously sort of, I guess, hyped up cards in the sense of people like Joe Gomez, or I guess realistically outside of that would probably be Jusagana Gay was one that everyone last year was like very good for the money. João Felix as well. I think he came a lot later on though. But they bring out one hyped up SBC and that usually sees Fodder spike. So I don't think there's any harm tomorrow during Division Rivals picking up 84, 85, 86, maybe 83 rated Fodder when it's at its lowest. I don't think that's a problem at all. But you can also pick that Fodder up on the Friday evening. Promo packs will obviously be released onto store. Pick that Fodder up on Friday evening if you don't want to hold it for too long, and then list that and sell that as and when the SBCs come out. And again, make sure you spread your bets across different leagues. Fodder investing this year hasn't been that great, I'm not going to lie. The best time that Fodder's been good this year is with Team of the Weeks. When Fodder cards go into Team of the Weeks, they tend to see quite a big rise. But that's where I'd be looking for Fodder-wise. 83, 84, 85, 86. Ideally, outfield players from the major 5 leagues. That's where I think your best bets are. And a lot of times, same nation, same league tends to do better than off-league, off-nation for those sort of SBCs. So that's something to think about. Another random thing to think about is random daily SBCs. We get them most days. You see the rare Electrum Player Pack SBCs we get. What I tend to do at the beginning of a promo, when the lightning rounds come out and whatnot, is stock up on fullbacks, wingers, centre-backs from major league, major nations. And if there's obscure ones, like if I can see a French left-back from the Serie A, for example, or right-back, I might buy a few of those as well and just stick those sort of 78, 79, 80 rated clubs up on my transfer list and leave them there for a bit. Because there's usually an SBC that comes out that requires them. So if you remember last week, I talked to you guys, I did it on stream, about picking up random generic fodder. I picked up some Sarabias and stuff like that. And I held them for a little bit and everyone was like, you're still holding them. I said, they'll come in SBC. Eventually the SBC came, and for 800, 900 coins that I was spending on those cards, I got about 1,500 coins back from each. Had 100 coins from 100 of them basically in my transfer targets and on my transfer list. And so from that, I think I picked up about 150k once they were all sold and whatnot, a decent amount of profit. Just for a relatively simplistic investment, there wasn't that much thought process in it. There wasn't much difficulty in it. So yeah, it was decent. So that's always a good thing to be thinking about doing. Just random little coin makers that can work. The other thing that I think we will probably see during this period is we're going to see the re-release of the CONMEBOL League SBCs. We know they're coming. The video for that went live yesterday, so make sure you check it out. But I think we'll probably see another League SBC during this promo. It's easy, consistent content from EA. So if you haven't done it yet, you've still got time to go out and buy the silver players, one from each team, one from each position. It's a really easy way to make coins on this game. But yeah, that's really where I see the market at the moment in terms of what you should be doing for Road to the Final. Look out for leaks. I know everyone hates leaks. I don't like leaks myself. But if you are going to trade, at least you're then on an equal footing with someone else who has that leak. Keep an eye on them. Take them with a pinch of salt. Don't be too presumptuous that they're definitely true. I've got my ideas of who I think will be in the promo, and if I get any more details, I'll give you guys them once I've got confirmation and whatnot, and people are actually saying, yep, this is definitely happening. But I'd be mindful that you don't go and spend a ton of coins on this promo. I'd just be mindful of the fact that EA might change it up a little bit this year. I doubt it because it's EA, but you never know. But I do think that the out-of-pack investments, as you've seen, did well last year, and specifically, I think the gold, the UCL versions of the gold cards could do quite well as part of SBCs. But that is going to be the end of this video. If you are new around here, like I say, please do consider subscribing down below. Make sure you turn on your notifications. I'm live on Twitch right now, so check me out there. But for now, lads, I am out. Peace out. I will speak to you soon.